Okay, next question. This came in from Facebook, and Syed says, as a new emigrant family with autistic 6-year-old son coming to the States, what are the steps that will be taken when he goes to school to pass this important stage? And do you recommend any reports about his case we should bring with us? 6 years old, coming from outside the country, wanting to know, because, they're going to have to do an IEP when they get here. There's a lot that's going to happen.
Yeah, there's so much that happens, and depending on what state you go to.
Yes.
Because every school system in every state, and even within every state, the schools vary significantly in terms of what they're going to require of you. And what I would say is bring all your reports. If your child has a diagnosis of autism, but the first one was at 2 years old and he's 6 now, usually they do want more recent, within the 1 or 2 year period.
Okay.
If you're going to be getting insurance, you definitely need something that's more current. Okay. But the school system wants something usually within 1 or 2 years saying that he has a specific diagnosis. Any kind of testing that you've had, if you've had, full neuropsych testing in terms of, probably not speech, because if there's another language involved, it would have to be in English. Also looking at, but any testing, standardized testing, any diagnosis, anything in the last year or two is probably going to be the most helpful to you. And then when you come here, you're going to go to your school district and you're going to basically have to ask them what they're requiring. Because even though we have a federal law that guarantees education, free and appropriate education, the districts do vary significantly in what they're in what they ask for, in the documents they require. I feel like I'm not being helpful.
No, I think you're being very helpful. It's just that I think we're all feeling the overwhelm that this person is going to feel. Mm-hmm. But absolutely, you want to bring as much documentation as you can that's as recent as possible.
Yes.
Anything that you have at your disposal. My follow-up question is, if they haven't gotten a recent diagnosis, let's say that they were diagnosed at 2 and he's 6 and they haven't gotten a recent, should they get another diagnosis where they are, or should they come here and get the diagnosis here first? What do you think about that?
I don't know. It just depends what country you're coming from.
Okay.
I think a lot of that, will it be in English? I mean,
yeah. That's
going to be a factor regardless. Yeah. If it's not in English but you got it, they're going to ask for one in English once you get here.
And anything that, I'm just going to say from the school end of it, anything that you have, any records that you have on the child that will show what an appropriate setting might be, because the first thing that you're going to need to do is qualify for services, which is if you have a diagnosis of autism, they should agree with that and give you the right to an IEP, which is what you want, an individualized education plan. And probably, though, what they will want to do is observe the child. So they'll probably stick your child in school in a setting that they hope is appropriate for a period of time, and then they will want to reevaluate and have a meeting. And depending on what behaviors your child has, you know, in some cases you have to lobby for your child to be in a mainstream classroom with an aide. In some circumstances, I know parents that have kids that elope and they feel like the school isn't taking it seriously enough in terms of security and those kinds of issues. So you want to be as clear as you can with the school about what your expectations are in that period of time when they don't know your child as well as they're about to.
Yeah, any safety factors that can be documented for your child need to be told.
Yeah.
So whether it is the running away or the no stranger awareness, it can also be food if there's allergies or sicknesses. Yeah. I mean, there's a whole wide variety. When my kids were in school, and one of my daughters started kindergarten, there was a girl in the class next door who was from an African country, and they spoke 6 languages.
Wow.
So there was no way to do an assessment on her because she actually went into all the different languages when she spoke.
Wow.
And so they couldn't just assess her. They were like, okay, here's some Spanish, here's some English. but they realized that there was too many other dialects and different things coming in, and they had a really hard time assessing her. They had her in there for like 3 months, and I actually went to the teacher next door and I said, you need to do something, because this is completely the inappropriate setting for her, because she was taking off and she didn't have an aide with her.
Yeah.
And she was very frustrated, you could tell, completely. And really, I was talking to the psychologist at the school, and I was like, you need to get her into another environment where she's safe, because she's not safe here. And, they're like, oh, we're just going to see how she does.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not a good idea.
That doesn't work. And yet schools take that tack a lot. So just know what your expectation is and bring whatever paperwork that can document that, and then be very clear with the school so that you make sure that your kiddo is safe. Oy, oy,
And
oy.
if you can, when you get to the school, find other parents who have, in your area, find an autism group.
Yeah.
Because those parents will be able to tell you what you need to do and not do, especially if they're involved in your school.
There's an organization called TACA. It's TACAnow.org. And they have chapters in most states in the United States now that are parents that are very on it and connected. And you can see if there's one in the area that you're moving to see if you can get some support about knowing which school.
Even if you're coming and you're coming, if you go online and try to get connected to parents who live in that area.
Yeah.
Because that'll tell you, should you go to this school or should you go to a different school?
It's like being slightly ahead. Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.